From rookie trader to fund manager, we are joined today by John Jost from Colorado, who, like many people who started out their trading journey not knowing what they did not know, making losses and taking a number of online courses and so on. In John's case, since his formative years, he's gone on to trading bigger money as a fund trader. In fact, he is a fine example of someone who has shown he has determination to prevail in an industry where a lot of people simply give up and walk away. He is also a client of ours, so extra special to have the chance to catch up, John. John, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here, and thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. So, your journey, busy trading as well as your day job as well. Your journey in trading is not atypical of what many people go through. The difference is you made it as a result of tenacity and determination. So tell us a bit about your journey and how you went from a total rookie to a fund manager.
Okay, so I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. My background is I'm actually a chiropractor. Okay, and I was working as an associate at a clinic, and I ended up having ethical differences with the main doctor who owned the clinic, and so he ended up letting me go. I was not prepared for that, and of course, I decided to start searching for jobs or just ways to make money, and stumbled upon trading. And at the time, it was like I was looking at binary options and all the other BS that's out there on the internet. Okay,
yes.
Yeah, it's just exactly. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But over time, I started to dabble in that, and it was just loss after loss after loss, and of course. Binary options really isn't a really great thing to trade. I would actually run away from those if you ever come across them.
Oh, yeah. Inverse reward to risk.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Then, so decided to go into Forex. Just like any new trader, you kind of you don't really know what to do. You start down, the indicator pathway. You watch the videos and people doing the indicators and all the indicators lining up and all that stuff. And, that's just crap, right? So I decided I needed to get some good education. And at the time, I started watching your videos, and, gosh, I watch every single video that you have, a few times over, and these are just the videos that are out on YouTube. I'd be doing cardio in the gym, and I'd have, your videos on my phone while I was doing that.
Wow, I'm surprised you're still talking to me. I thought you'd be sick of my voice by now. I'm flattered.
Yeah, you know what? You have a lovely British accent, coming from an American. No, you're great. And your videos are great too. And I just really ate them up. And then I decided, one day to join the Lazy Trader. And the beauty of the Lazy Trader is that it really just solidified the foundation of the way I trade, and it's the way I currently trade. And it has brought me success. It basically simplified trading for me, because I think that a lot of times traders make things really complex and confusing, and they have a whole mess of indicators and things like that. And your site really just kind of simplified everything, and everything started to click. And that's when I started experiencing success.
Great. Well, what is interesting with your case, John, is the fact that instead of rigidly copying the strategies dogmatically, what you've done, as per our previous discussion, is you've taken elements of certainly our strategies and other people's strategies as well. And what you've done is you've created your own system that has worked for you. A lot of people don't bother to do this, and it's fantastic. I've done it with my mentors, for example, from yesteryear, and now you've done it. And it's great in a way that you've actually had the foresight to do this, because this is a higher level of trading that a lot of people are A, fearful of, and B, just can't be bothered to engage in.
Correct. And it's cool that you say that, because it's really true. I think that every trader would benefit if they just got a mentor right from the beginning. Get somebody who's legitimate, like you, just somebody who's been in the industry, knows what they're doing, and really is going to give you good information. And I think that will really cut down that learning curve drastically. Now, at the same time, everybody has different personalities and different comfort levels. So I think that over time, you start to realize, what works for you and what doesn't. And then you're able to take, chunks from different places and piece together a system that really starts jiving with like your personality, and then it just starts to click and snowball after that.
That's the thing. I mean, trading is highly nuanced, and anyone who tries to say that one size fits all is, quite frankly, misleading you. um,
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you say that, because you now trade a much bigger account size than you do, which is good news since before you're consistently profitable, but a lot of people, certainly in this industry, who report back after migrating to a much bigger account size, do find the trader psychology a lot more difficult to master as a result of the scaling up. Is this something you've encountered, or have you been able to rationalize it through just trade sizing, for example?
You know what? Honestly, Rob, sizes does not phase me at all. It doesn't change the way I trade at all. I still risk the same percent per trade that I did on the smaller account.
Good, good.
Yeah, because obviously that percent being the same percent is still going to give you more money because you have a larger size, right? So it's like, why change anything? The thing that I do like about the larger account, though, is it kind of gave me some leeway to try new things and experiment a little bit, which I don't recommend for anybody who's new. But when you have some experience, you can then kind of take some of that size and just kind of play with it a little bit and try new things and see if it works and whatnot. So yeah, size is a blessing, and give me more. I'll take it all.
Well, I mean, you're incrementally increasing your size as time goes on, and that is important rather than going all guns blazing in, which a lot of people do, and there's a lot of kind of misleading marketing out there, which kind of paints forex as being the holy grail and the easy, untapped kind of reservoir of easy money, which of course it isn't. The old expression, trading is simple, but it's not easy, rings true here. But John, I mean, everyone has their own journey in trading and also their own end game too. Some people are just happy to trade for themselves and maintain it as kind of like a discrete skill for wealth creation. Others want to develop it to go on and work for a major bank or institution. But you've gone on specifically down the prop trading fund management route. Why is this?
So I went prop because it was the quickest way to get more capital. I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to make a living, trading until I had a much larger account. And for somebody, who can relate to what I'm saying, I mean, go prop firm. If you think that you can do it, go for it. The deposit you have to put up is very minimal compared to what you can make. So to me, that was the really attractive part about prop. Yeah, and it just kind of, if you can pass the evaluation period, they're more than happy to fund you, and at that point, the world can be your oyster if you're good and you just keep growing that account.
Well, the opportunities are there. Like I've always said to people, that if you can maintain your trading consistency and you can demonstrate it, this money is not far away and you can easily find it. So, in terms of your trading journey, John, I mean, what would you say your main sticking points were until you did arrive at consistency?
So that's a great question. I think when you're just starting out, the thing that you focus on the most is your strategy. Your entry. Like that's really what you start focusing on. And I think that if you peruse the internet and watch videos and stuff, that's what all the videos are really going to be centered around. Which is great, but to me, that's really only maybe a third of the battle. When I started seeing success, and is basically when the realization that the most important thing is how you control yourself after the trade's on. Controlling those whirlwind of emotions that begin after the trade is on, and also switching your mindset from being a trader and wanting to take great trades to reducing your risk as much as possible. Okay. I mean, trying to figure out how to not lose. All right. And it sounds really easy. And you probably have heard that many times, but I think when that really sinks in and when you start to look at trading as, okay, how can I not lose? That's when you're going to start seeing success. And that's what happened for me.
Like managing losing trades as well as winning trades. A lot of people For example, it's the most common problems people have. For example, they may have had a drawdown, and if they have a winning trade, they exit it as soon as they get that kind of flash in the pan prematurely.
Right.
And to their horror, they see the market going completely in their favor, except they've taken off a rather kind of insignificant amount of profit and they forfeited what the potential was. And this is a common sticking point for a lot of people, including myself back in the day. Actually, I seem to remember doing this, and it's a it's a filthy habit. But for me, that was a major sticking point back in the day. In terms of your main kind of aha moments, what would you describe them as being?
Oh gosh, I mean, I've had many. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's like you have them periodically, and I still have them. You know, every few months I have a major aha moment. Um, I think the one of the biggest ones, like I said, is just realizing that it's all about reducing risk, and if you can do that successfully, the winners will take care of themselves. One thing I kind of thought about is, you know, if you think of a trade, think of it in four different scenarios. You know, in one scenario, you're going to take a trade, you're going to be completely right. The trade's going to take off. You're going to make money. You're going to make money fairly quickly. That's a beautiful trade. We love those, right? Um, the other one is you're going to be completely wrong, okay? And that's when you have to obviously minimize your risk by using a stop loss. You know, trading small. Don't overexpose yourself in the same currency, you know, on multiple trades, things like that, okay? And then another scenario is going to be like you're wrong for a while, and then you're right. So you have a little bit of pain. You know, you put on the trade, it goes against you just a tiny bit, and then it shoots in your direction, and that's good. But then finally, the one that is the most controllable is when you're right for a little bit, and then the trade starts to kind of go wrong. And that's when you can, you know, that's when it's like, you know, okay, you really have to control that losing potential. Okay. You know, maybe you move your stop loss to break even, or you trail a little bit, or you just manage that losing trade. Okay. So you reduce the amount that it's going to hurt you, when it eventually stops out. Does that make sense, Rob?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, a lot of people have a focus on the strategy and when to get into the trade, but as soon as they're in the market, they have no idea what to
Right.
do. And certainly, one of my big aha moments, which is related to what you've just said, is having this mandatory rule that if you're in a trade and it's at a one-to-one profit, reward to risk, then you scale out half. Say if you're buying silver, for example, or gold,
Mm-hmm.
and you've risked, say, £300 or 1% or whatever, how much you trade per trade. As soon as you've made that in terms of open profit, you sell half the position, so you've taken half
Mm-hmm.
the profits off the table, and then you've essentially got a free trade. And that certainly, from my own personal trading, when I discovered this all those years ago, really did smooth out my equity curve and make trading certainly less painful and more enjoyable and far less frustrating and more relaxing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, it's like it allows you to just relax. And you know, another bit of advice too is like get away from your P&L. Don't look at your P&L. You know, that'll destroy you.
Oh, it's
And those
emotionally
emotions.
exhausting, isn't it? It's a real.
Yeah, that roller coaster. Uh huh.
I mean, what for example? I mean, when you see like five positions all in profit, and then you get your mobile phone out, and then you see, oh goodness, all the profits have just kind of like gone to break even, and it changes the mood. Say if you're talking to a friend on Skype or something, and you suddenly see this, and it's going to really affect your emotions and tire you out. So if it's end of day, keep it to the end of the
Exactly.
day. If it's end of the week, keep it to the weekend, as you do.
Exactly. You know, real quick too, just kind of piggybacking everything. Another big revelation too is keep it simple. You know, don't overcomplicate it. For me, at least, the simpler I made the process, the more successful I was. And each person's going to do that in their own way, but it works out well. If you don't overcomplicate, you don't overthink things, you know, and I think this just comes with experience, but you just finally, you get things down to a very simplified process. You're very patient, you know, take very specific trades. Wait for the market to do what you want it to do.
Mm.
You know, don't sit there and try to just like, oh no, I'm going to miss this, you know, I'm going to miss the trade, you know, you get the FOMO, you know, the fear of missing out. Like, no, just like wait for things to set up how you how is a highly probable setup for you, and then take the trade. And you'll find that you're going to have a higher probability of winning that trade, and you're going to have a much more success.
Great. Well, I mean, these are good words of wisdom from someone who's like yourself, who's obviously doing well at it. And I do think I've always kind of said this, that the skill set required for trading, i.e., patience and discipline, is kind of at odds with generation now, the current generation where we've got Netflix, we've got Tinder, we've got kind of limitless choices and instant gratification.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you can pick up the phone, order a pizza, and it arrives at your house in 20 minutes. You can watch whatever you like on television, thousands of channels out there. But unfortunately, if the market doesn't want to give you an opportunity based on your strategy or your rules for entry, a lot of people find that very difficult to comprehend, and they don't like it.
Hey, then go scalp gold or something. Then I don't care. It's like if you need that immediate gratification, go do that.
Absolutely.
And, risk your capital.
Yeah, go and bet on the weather or download Tinder if you're single.
Which I am, and I have done.
Or buy a dog. That's another one. Walk the metaphorical
dog.
There you
go. Buy a dog. I like that. Yeah.
All right, John. Well, we really appreciate your time. Lastly, before you go, for those of you who are listening and are looking to specifically go into fund management like yourself, what are your top tips to make the cut?
Oh gosh, join the Lazy Trader.
Oh, you're very generous.
And I'm not sitting here trying to just shamelessly plug your site. That's not why you had me on here. But I do want to give credit where credit's due. And like I said, I am so grateful that I found you, Rob, and your videos and the Lazy Trader, because it truly helped me. So if you can find a good program and mentorship that's really going to give you legitimate information, do that. And then trade. If you're going through prop firm, there's going to be strict parameters. My drawdown max is 4%. So through my evaluation period, I kept my drawdown at 2.9 was the max I had. So trade, investors like that. They don't want to see large drawdowns. So you're going to get more money handed to you to manage if you keep your drawdown small. So trade small, reduce your risk, get a good mentorship, be patient, and just be passionate about it and just keep on going. I almost quit 4 times, but I always came back and I was like, I can do this. And I think that if you go through a few years of doing that and you keep coming back and you keep working at it and you absolutely love it, you're going to make it. It just takes time. So don't be discouraged. It is very, very hard, which is why only, 10% or whatever, 10%, that small percent of people actually make it.
So there we go. As I think it was Muhammad Ali who actually said this, success is defined by the number of times you're prepared to pick yourself back up off the floor and shake yourself down and go for it again.
Beautiful. Exactly. Yep.
There we go. John, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's great talking to you.
Rob, it's been an honor. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.